My name is Vram. I live in Armenia, and my life goal, my dream is to make this world at least a little bit better place.
My name is Artyom Hakobian, and I'm from Armenia. I study in the American University of Armenia. I study computer science. Hopefully I'll become a pretty good software engineer, maybe travel and work abroad for some time.
My name is Mari, and I'm an Armenian girl. I'm a linguist and as well as journalist.
My name is Sergey, and well, I'm a student at the American University of Armenia. I study English and Communications, and I'm planning on applying to law school in the United States.
Hello, my name is Mariana. I'm from Yerevan. I am living here all my life. My goals are I want to get admitted in good university in Russia, the field of law, and in future my dream, it's not dream, it's a goal also. I want to build a shelter for animals.
What does it mean for me to be an Armenian? That's actually a really hard question. Just having an Armenian family with some basic values of Armenian culture. Even though I don't have many values of Armenians, there are some that actually managed to get into my brain.
My appearance, I think. My appearance, and most of Armenians, they have black hairs, black eyes, and not so dark skin, but it's dark. We are few, but Armenia is like a small house where you can feel yourself free and happy. But also we have some problems, not so big problems, but we have them.
Okay, the land where I live, the language that I speak, everything, the religions that I have, all this identify me as an Armenian. And one thing that identifies and combines all Armenians throughout the world, it's our history coming from the centuries.
I believe that being Armenian is not only about the DNA or your ancestors. It's a state of mind. It's what you believe in, what truth you keep in your soul and your heart.
Well, I don't really necessarily pay much importance to the ethnicity, probably. What makes, I think why I identify as Armenian is more like I sympathize with with the Armenian nation and probably some of their values.
We are traditional. It's the first thing that they identify us. I mean, if, for example, other countries, Russians, they are not so traditional. They don't pay attention to such things like you must be married only one time with one person and so on. In Armenia, if even you had a husband and you are divorced or so, they consider you as you are not traditional, maybe you are bad person and so. And I think it's not good because we are living in the 21st century and we should be a bit open-minded to such matters.
Family is number one in your whole life. The whole life is all about your family and everything else comes next. I guess a big value that I notice here more than in other places is that friends are treated as family. Like in Europe and in Western cultures, those are family and friends are treated separately. But in here, they are more, I guess, closer. I would say, because, like, for example, my parents treat all of my friends just the same way they treat me, like their own children, and I feel the same way in the homes of my friends. I feel like I belong there.
I believe that Armenian culture is underrated worldwide. We have a very rich culture which is not worldwide famous. Komitas, Arno Babajanyan, Khachaturian, our literature. I believe that world should know about it. World should be interested in Armenian culture. Overall, Armenian culture, Armenian mentality is a mixture of European, Russian, and Middle Eastern influence. Even though Armenians are Christians, we share a lot of our mentality with Middle East, the Muslim nations. Even though we've been part of the Soviet Union, we inherited a lot from Europe, European values, and at the same time, being in a close touch with Europe, we also inherited a lot of mentality and culture from Russia. Despite this, Armenian culture is very unique. Due to Armenia being so remote, we managed to keep our culture from ancient times. We have pieces of our cultural heritage that come thousands and thousands of years ago. In this case, it seems like Armenia is a good place to experience cultures, not only Armenian, but also which come from Europe, Russia, and Middle East.
One thing would be that Armenia is not only about the genocide and stuff like that, and I mean, foreigners probably attach many negative things to Armenia, like not necessarily negative about Armenia, but more like stuff that happened to Armenia, the victimhood probably. Also, I think that's something that the government wants or starts to push, the narrative that Armenia is not a victim, but more like, for example, again about the genocide thing. They're trying to push the narrative that we want to become the leader of preventing genocide, not necessarily the country that cries and demands some, recognition and retribution, you could say.
I would like more foreigners to know about Armenia, like just know about it, because I've been in many places where people just don't even know that a country, Armenia, exists, and there are people called Armenians. I don't know, I would actually like people to understand that there are actually intelligent people here, people who study, and we're not just barbarians, and we're not stuck in the past ages. I guess that's the thing I would like people to know more about us.
I have met more than 40,000 foreigners during 1 year, and I'm very much surprised because all they know about Armenia in very detailed way. Because when they come and ask for some information, they even know every detail from our history more than even Armenians living in Armenia. It means that Armenian is very famous and has recently become very famous. I don't think they don't know anything or something else. Of course, from history there are some details, but they know very good about Armenia. Though it's a point, like a point, if we look in the map. But it means that we have a very strong culture and history that know all foreigners.
For a tourist, well, obviously it's the Armenian history, first of all. Armenia is among the oldest civilizations that survived till this day. Another important thing is to know is the Armenian church history as well. Armenian culture, Armenian cuisine.
That we have a rich history. We have many poets, we have many writers. As you see, you can even on simple street you can see many churches. Yeah, we are religious. We are really religious people. Nation. We respect our traditions. It's the first thing that foreigners should know about Armenia. That we remember our history and we are attentive to such things. Like being modest, being traditional is very important for us.
Recommend for a tourist. It's kind of hard. I guess I would recommend not to spend all of your time visiting all the old churches because they are kind of similar. And once you've visited like 4 of them, you've basically seen the template, and the others are kind of similar. I guess I would say spend more time with the people rather than with the places, because there are lots of places and you'll never have enough time to visit all of them. But you will forget the places, but you'll remember the people that you are spending that time with. So I guess spend more time with the people that you're visiting the country of.
It seems to me that American culture is a mixture of everything which came from across the world. It combined a lot of good things, good cultural aspects of probably every country on this planet. It's so diverse and it's so different that there's not a global opinion concerning it. So yeah, I guess American culture is basically kind of like a face of the cultures all across the world.
I don't want to generalize about the people, but the American culture, I think this is because, again, the founding blocks of the country, because of the American Constitution, again, that's the only, and it's safe to say that America is the only country that's built not on an ethnic background, but more, the American nation is united on the basis of values, not necessarily the ethnicity or religion. And it is the only country in the world that, again, that respects free speech and that where free speech is an absolute right.
I think that America has very different culture, not compared with Europe or some other country. You know why? Because, in my opinion, because different nations live there, and all they have different backgrounds, different culture. There is no typical American culture. They all come from other countries and bring their culture, traditions, customs, backgrounds. It's somehow a city of diversity. That's why their culture is somehow, there is no typical American culture, in my opinion. Though some part of it has its influence in the world and has become an inseparable part of our lives. For example, pop music, Hollywood movies that we watch every day, their fast food, everything, some part of it has become inseparable part of our lives also. But there are some bad points in their culture that, for example, technology too much, that in my opinion it ruins people's mind. their diversity, that no typical culture, just different nations with their different cultures, somehow different from other countries. And what I have noticed, that they think somehow big, that is everything with big size for them means everything it's good and luxurious, but I don't think it's so.
American people, they are open-minded. I like it, and it's good for a person to be open-minded, because you are ready for new, for new things in your life, for motivation and for creativity. It's good to be open-minded. But also, see, the difference between us and American people are, again, that traditions. They don't pay attention to such things like, okay, for example, a girl, she can marry with 2 guys. Okay, she can marry once, twice, or 3rd time. And in America, it doesn't matter, right? You can, and still you can be a good person, you can have friends, you can live your life as you were living before marriage, before even first marriage. I think it's good. And
American culture and people. I'm a big fan of the multicultural, that basically everyone is different there, and because of that, basically just because everyone is different, no one sticks out and is treated in a bad way. I guess those are the positive sides of that. Of course, there are some people who are treated bad, and that's not nice. I really love the free thinking, the freedom to think freely and to express yourself. I do not like the popular movements today that are basically limiting your freedom to speech just because it offends someone. I disagree with the idea that being offended or someone's feelings are more important than truth or facts. I think that it is better to have someone offended, even if it's you, but to stay true to the facts and the truth. I guess that's the main complaint that I have. Other than that, I have lots of American friends and I love them. They love me. It's cool.